This problem asks us to find which choice completes the text so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English. So for these types of problems where it conforms to the conventions of standard English, you need two different things. You need grammar to be correct, and you need it to be in logical order. Process of elimination will be key for these types of problems. So the problem asks, in 1943, in the midst of World War II, mathematics professor Grace Hopper was recruited by the U.S. military to help the war efforts by solving complex equations. Hopper's subsequent career would involve more than just blank. As a pioneering computer programmer, Hopper would help usher in the digital age. So first, let's use process of elimination to eliminate answers based on grammar. So A has equations with a comma and then though. So this is fine. You can use though as a subordinating conjunction, and you can put that after with a comma to create a contrast. It also uses a colon. And you can put an independent clause after, you can put a dependent clause, you can put a list after this. So this is grammatically, this is correct. Then B says equations with a comma, though. This is a big no-no. You can never separate two independent clauses. An independent clause is basically a full sentence. So Hopper's subsequent career would involve more than just equations, though. So that's a full independent clause. And then as a pioneer and computer programmer, Hopper would help usher in the digital age. That's also an independent clause. And you can't separate it by two commas, basically. You can use fanboys. You could use, hey, maybe we use a comma and then fanboys, which is basically for, and, nor, but, or yet, or s, or so. So you could use that, but though does not work. It's subordinating. You would need a coordinating conjunction, which is fanboys, which is one of these. So that is why B is wrong. Then C says equations, and then it does a period, and then though. So this is actually correct. This is absolutely fine. You could do equations with a period, because that would complete the independent clause. That would complete it, and then though, as a pioneer and computer programmer, that would be the dependent, and then Hopper would help usher in the digital age. That would complete it with the independent clause. So C would actually be completely fine. So C is completely plausible. And then D says equations, though. There is absolutely no punctuation. There's no comma. There's nothing. There's no conjunction. This is basically a run-on sentence. Because there's two independent clauses, and we're not using any commas or anything to try to separate this. So this is a run-on. This is definitely wrong. So another element is logical. Does it logically complete the sentence? So the big point in this one is the though. Though is, we can consider this as like it's equal to however, or it's equal to, it's like contrasting, in contrast. It's contrasting the ideas of the previous sentence. So let's see. Would it make sense for us to contrast this idea with the first sentence? The first sentence basically says she's solving complex equations, which we highlighted here. So it says Hopper's subsequent career would involve more than just equations, though. So if we put the though there, it would be saying it's contrasting this idea that she's only solving complex equations, which I kind of like. It's like she's not just solving complex equations, so it's basically contrasting. In contrast, C has though afterwards. So this sentence would basically be contrasting this idea here, which this would mean as a pioneer and computer programmer, Hopper would help usher in the digital age. Does that contrast the idea that Hopper's subsequent career would involve more than just equations? I disagree. I disagree because this is basically an example of her career involving more than just equations. She's now a computer programmer. So it's not really contrast. It's almost like in addition, or it's like related. So that's why it's kind of an illogical comparison here. So we can mark C as wrong, and then thus A would be the correct answer. We could circle that and then move on.